welcome back to Kendra's Vintage Kitchen. I know it's been a while. Today I will be making a Civil War recipe. This recipe is called Sallie Lunn bread. It is L-U-N-N, and Sallie is spelled S-A-L-L-I-E. According to this article I found with all these really cool recipes, the article's name was Authentic Civil War Recipes, and it was by Addison Lewis. So during the Civil War, food shortages were common, and soldiers needed it to be able to carry food for days. Consequently, the food they ate was meant to keep people alive, with a rare delight mixed in here and there. It was a time when food was scarce, and the recipes were simply about feeding people enough to keep them going. Your typical soldier was given a daily ration of meat, bread, and coffee. There was no possibility of refrigeration, so food needed to be transportable and couldn't spoil easily. If supply lines were cut, soldiers would scavenge or steal what they needed to survive. The recipes they used were simple and solely based on what they would have on hand. And a little history on the Sallie Lunn bread. It was an originally recipe from England, also named after the woman who first made it. This sweet bread was popular during the Civil War thanks in large to its simplicity. Using only 7 ingredients and needing just a minimal amount of sugar, this was a simple yet nutritious treat to make it for everyone trying to ration their provisions. This bread goes wonderfully with butter and could have been a complete meal for those working in the fields. All right, let's get to it. All right, so the first part of this recipe is to heat the milk and shortening to the scalding point. So this recipe called for 1 cup of milk and then 2 tablespoons of shortening. So I already turned on the stove here and had it start heating up, so I'm gonna add the milk here. And then the shortening. And now we wait. Alright, so I see the milk is kind of bubbling up with the shortening, so I'm going to put my thermometer in here. Alright, looks like it's good to use. Now it says allow the milk and shortening to cool. And then once it cools, we can add the rest of the ingredients and then allow the bread to rise.
Go.
Alright, the milk and the shortening has cooled off. So now I'm going to add it to my mixer over here. Okay, and then I'm gonna add the yeast, which is 1/2 ounce of yeast, which kind of equals up to 3 teaspoons. And then I'm gonna add 1/2 teaspoon of salt, a tablespoon of sugar. Right, and then I've already added a tablespoon of sugar, 1 egg, and 3 cups of flour. So now we're gonna mix up all these ingredients. All right, now I'll my ingredients are mixed up, I'm gonna lower this. Take this out of here. Right, and then it says to cover and leave in a warm place for 1 to 2 hours. I'm gonna get a towel. I'm gonna put mine in the microwave. Alright, I'll see you in 1 to 2 hours. Welcome back, everybody. Alright, let's see how the bread looks. Alright, looks pretty good to me. Now it says punch it down and then put it in a greased pan and allow it to rise for another hour. So I'm gonna punch it down and then I'm gonna put the bread into the loaf pan that I've already greased. Now I'm gonna put it back in the microwave to let it rise for another hour. Alright, welcome back everybody. Bread should be done rising. And I'll preheat the oven to 375. Throw it in there. Right, and I'm going to set my timer for 45 minutes. Welcome back everybody. The bread is done baking. You can obviously tell it's a new day. The bread didn't finish until kind of later last night. So I'm gonna test it out and see how it is. Well, the outside is really hard and crunchy. Got my own homemade butter. This one I made is honey butter. Well, the inside is not too bad. It's definitely a yeasty kind of bread. It's a little on the dry side. Maybe because I had it sit out overnight. But other than that, it's really not too bad. I don't know if I'd make it again, but it's definitely interesting to try. Well, I will plan on putting the link for all these Civil War recipes down below in the description, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you.